What's up, agency owners? Jason Swenk here with another episode of the Agency Masterclass dedicated to agency owners who want to grow faster by listening to other people's stories so you don't feel alone. And today we have an amazing episode where we talk with an agency owner who sold a video marketing agency, and we're going to talk about that experience. So let's go ahead and jump into the show. Hey, Doug, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason.
Yeah, man, excited to have you on. So tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about the agency that you built and sold.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Doug Dibert, and I'm the founder and creator of a video software platform called Magnfi.com. But the agency, the video marketing agency that I had from January 5th, 2005 until fall of 2017 was called 2018 Crossing River Studios. So we produced videos for businesses all over the world, and it was a blast. We specialize in small to medium-sized businesses. We didn't really kind of go after the big corporate guys. I loved working, like getting into the trenches with the small to medium-sized businesses, because those videos, we made videos for those clients, they had to work. There was no like, oh, let's roll the dice on a $20,000 video and see if it works, right? So my people were like, this is a chunk of my budget. I'm trusting you to make really great video content for me. And this is obviously, back, gosh, even think about it, 2017, 2010, 2015, all that. I mean, right now it's like video. Oh yeah, duh, it's no brainer. But back then you're like, ooh, should I consider doing that? Right. So, but that's what we did.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what made you start the video agency? How'd you get into that?
Yeah. So I graduated from the University of Toledo in Toledo, Ohio, with a bachelor's in film, minor in theater. And when I was in film school, I started doing like wedding videography. I started doing like anything that could. I was using the film school's equipment and then going out and getting paid jobs. My professor's like, just don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. So I started doing that and started doing weddings. And I was taking a documentary film course. And I'm like, man, it'd be really cool to apply documentary film technique to the capturing of a wedding day. Like with like keeping the dialogue in, making a sneak peek trailer, just like you do with like a movie, right? So shot a bride's wedding in that format, and I was really geeked out about it. Like, you're filming all day, and I got home late at night, and I'm like, I'm gonna crank this trailer out and post this bad boy on Facebook and upload it to YouTube, then post it to Facebook, because back then Facebook had no video platform, right? So I had to tweak YouTube embed code to get the video to play natively. Posted it like, I want to say like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and tagged the bride or bridesmaids and the groomsmen and the wedding coordinator, and went to bed. Woke up the next day. I had thousands of plays, tons of comments, shares, and my inbox was full of other brides asking me if their date was available to film their wedding. And that's really I got the taste of like, man, video marketing. This is a really cool thing, right? But even then I was like, oh, cool. Like I can make videos and people can put them on their websites, right? And really wasn't thinking of like that viral effect, right? So, but other businesses started asking about like, hey, can you create videos for my business? And, I'll be like, yeah, absolutely. Been doing it for years, right? So started filming video content for businesses, had both for a while. And then the '08 recession hit. And luckily I had both businesses, because I lost all my marketing clients like that. At a huge hospital, like huge regional hospital, we were doing all their video content for. I mean, they had a great budget. That was gone in a month. It was bonkers. But thankfully, the wedding videography still stayed strong, and I had that. And we really cut and created we started really creating a lot of video for social, right? I mean, that's what really grew us kind of organically. So things came back, right? And at the time I was living in Toledo, Ohio, but moved to Columbus, Ohio, and bigger market, right? And when I would go to a meeting pitching clients on video, they would go, well, hey, what's it going to cost for us to tell our story, right? Because a lot of video production companies back then were all talking about telling your business's story. And I instantly became a commodity. So you were just this race to the bottom, right? As we all know. And I thought, well, dang, like, what do I do differently that gets a client? hands down. And I really thought through it. And it was the fact that we just talked video marketing strategy. So I'm like, all right, let's, instead of being a video production company, we're going to focus on video marketing strategy, not just creating the video, but we'll be really heavy on the strategy. Like even just optimizing a client's YouTube channel, making an animated logo for their videos. I mean, they thought they were video marketing rock stars, and they paid really well to have us do all that, and then create content around what their actual strategic goals were. Because obviously, a lot of those companies also worked with digital marketing agencies, so they would go, "Hey, we're creating videos with this really cool video production company, video marketing agency, I should say." And so that's how we met digital marketing agencies, and word kind of get out, right? So we became really the go-to for digital marketing agencies in our area and even outside the area to create content for businesses.
That's exciting. When did you get to a point where you thought about selling? You know, I remember when I started my agency, I thought about selling from the get-go. And then we started, you know, making some real money, having some fun. I was like, nope,
Mhm.
I really like this. This is something I'll pass on to my kids. And
Yeah.
then 10 years went by, and then I was like, yeah, sell the damn thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, yeah. I would say that's pretty close to my journey. Cause like I really started focusing on stuff for businesses because I eventually wanted to make movies. Like that was like my big goal. Like I wanted to be a feature filmmaker. And I had some businesses that were willing to invest in me, and they were like, "Doug, we want to see you. Well, we want to see that you can grow a business and that you can manage cash flow and all that kind of stuff." And so that was really kind of the little foray into really focusing on growing a business. But yeah, I thought I was going to keep Crossing River Studios for a long time, and I really the big switch for me, honestly, Jason, was having a business coach. Having a business coach to just expand your mind, your thinking. It's so incredible. Even at the game that I'm at now, it's like just you have to continue to open your mind to next level thinking, or you will get stagnant. It's bonkers. But that's when I really started going, because she asked me, my coach, she's like, "What do you really want to do?" I was like, "Well, I want to make movies." And she's like, "When do you want to do it?" And I was like, "Well, maybe as we grow, like 5 years, we get things going." She's like, "Why not next year?" I'm like, dang, why not next year? And that right there, that's a mind shift, right? So it was really kind of around then. And then back then too, I was doing a lot of stuff. Like I was really trying to be like the hands-on guy, like do stuff. And she really encouraged me, like, you need to find other people so you can focus on your 1% thing that you're really good at, right? Not the other 99% stuff. And so that's when I found my team. I had 5 guys that are really good. I had a guy who did director of photography, studied at cinematography at the school in the UK. My editor studied at the LA Film Academy. And my sound guy mixed sound for Law and Order SVU in his basement, mixed dialogue for them. He did drone videography. So I had a really great team of people, and started getting more interested in the business aspect of, more so than even the creative aspect. I was more interested in the business side of things. And around 2015, we started getting clients asking us, "Hey, can we film videos off our smartphone, have our clients film video testimonials off our smartphone and send them to you, and you can like work it, right? You can add our logo, a music, call to action, all that kind of good stuff." And I was like, "No, you got to tell the story, right?" And because we could charge more to do that, right? It was worth our time to edit a little video off a cell phone. And back then it was a royal pain in the butt to ingest that video, because there's so many different video file formats. The back of the day, now they're a little more like normal, right? But back in the day, they were like wonky video files all over the place. So I started thinking to myself, man, I said to my business coach, I said to her, I said, "I can care less if I ever shot and edited a video again in my life. I said, I had this idea for this video, like a video platform that would like systematize content creation." And we realized that 90% of our customers all wanted the videos shot and edited the same exact way. They wanted their logo to come up, a little bit of stylized zoom animation, or animated logo swishing and swirling, and kapowing in, right? They love that, obviously, because we saw them on that video marketing onboarding package. And they wanted some inspirational music, call to action, and their logo. and reading the book. I was reading the book by Henry Ford, right? And talking about you can have any color you want as long as that color is black for your car. And I thought, well, shoot. I mean, you can have any video you want, but as long as it's produced like this, right? And most of our clients would be like, yep, that's how we want it. And then if they had an opinion on it, they'd be willing to pay extra, right? To have that done, right? So, and then you usually go, hey, you can have this video, or this video costs this much more. So, long story short, as I said, I just got sick of it. I got burned out. I was getting sick of just making videos, and like I was more excited about the strategy. Like I wanted to help as many businesses as I can leverage video, because I saw the power in it. I'm like, dang, the video applied properly, especially simple videos like video testimonials and expert tip videos and about me video. Those are like the core videos that every business needs for success. If they can just create those, they can literally leverage video and really see some growth with it. So I said to my business coach, I told her about the platform idea, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to systematize content creation. She's like, she's like, that's a really good idea. She's like, I would do that. Like, because it's low cost. So you're not having to pay for a guy to go out or gal to go out and shoot a video and bring it back and edit it to do what Magnfi does literally within like a few moments. So,
so tell me how you got to a point where, you told us kind of why you were going to sell. What was the next step at finding a buyer, and walk us through that process?
Yeah. I wish I could say it was some sort of like, like I hired some strategic team and I had a big team of lawyers come in. It was, it was the guy who edits for me, who did all my editing. He called me up one day and just is like, cause my team was all 1099 guys. Cause I found that all my guys that were doing it independently were really, really good at their specific craft. And that's what I wanted for my videos, to make those like cinematic quality style videos. He called me up one day and he just said, hey, I would love to get together and just chat shop, just talk about like the business aspect of, video. I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. Let's get together. Let's have some coffee. And on the way to the coffee shop, I was like, should I mention to him that I'm thinking about selling Crossing River? And he's been a fan of Crossing River since we met in Columbus, Ohio. And we were having coffee, we chit-chatted, and toward the end of the conversation, I just said, hey, I'm thinking about selling Crossing River and really focusing on Magnfi's growth. It's something I really want to do. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, I just feel like it's time to just kind of move on, And he's like, well, what do you want for it? And I told him my number. He's like, I can't afford that. So, but long story short, he ended up connecting up with some people. Then he decided to purchase the business. And from that conversation till we ended was like 3 months. So there was no like hunting around. Like when I met with him and his partner that bought the business, they asked for, like my revenue over the course of like 3 years, right? See what I was making the company was making every 3 years, like the reoccurring revenue, what clients we had in the pipeline now that they would kind of take over. So all that kind of good stuff. So sold like website, the YouTube, the whole shebang, all the assets and the whole shebang for, one flat cost. And I was very blessed, and they paid cash. So there was no, financing terms or, payments over the course of X number of time. The only contingency, obviously, non-compete clause, obviously that's normal, right? So, but luckily I did say, hey, look, I have this video marketing platform that I'm getting off the ground. I'm going to do video marketing consulting, but if I need video production, 1,000%, I'm going with you, right? So obviously they were totally 1,000% fine with that. So stayed on for a year. And then we just to kind of, because when people thought obviously of the company, they knew me, right? So I brought him on as a partner, right, for that first year. Even though he owned the company, we kind of functioned as like, yeah, we're partners, we're managing partners, right? So that way he can build relationships with those people. And then if I needed to get involved, like with a negotiation or a project, I was like, I'm more than happy to do all that stuff, man, because I want to see, because I had that company for a long time, right? It was really weird after we left the signing of everything and walking out with this big old check in my hand. I'm like, Oh, wow. That's and then and not knowing, I'm like, crap, I'm not making any videos anymore. This is literally, it's all Magnify now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how I celebrated, Jason, I went out and my wife and I bought a cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. I lived it up.
I always joke with people that the one thing I bought was a back bumper for my 97 Wrangler that I just bought.
Yeah. Yep. We went and got I went and got a big old triple chocolate cheesecake for the Cheesecake Factory, and I got together with my family. We all kind of celebrated, and because honestly, it was like, all right, I'm all in with this new company. I mean, the company was thankfully off the ground already, but
Yeah.
it's like, all right, this is it. We're all in, right? So we did go to Disney World. I did take the kids to Disney, so we
Yeah,
splurged on the mouse a little bit.
yeah, I look back and I'm like, I just laugh. I'm like, I bought a bumper. Like that's the only, like eventually later on I bought big stuff,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was many years later. Cause I was like, it was like anything. And I wish professional athletes thought about this and anybody that, we buy as an agency or that I coach and advise them when they sell their
Hmm.
agency. I'm like, look, don't make any big purchases for a while. Like
Yeah,
still live like you've been living,
yeah,
even though you could probably buy anything that you want. Just don't buy big purchases because that's
yeah,
when people have buyer's remorse and regret. And they'll be like, I just bought this huge house and your income
yeah,
just goes so high or not your
yeah,
income but your expenses go so high, then you're like, I got to keep doing it. And then
yeah.
the freedom that you had from selling the business, not worrying about money, now you worry about money again, but just at a bigger level.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's you feel invincible a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, oh yeah, this is pretty sweet, right? I could buy me a $50 cheesecake today, but no, I'd be like, I'm not spending $50 on a cheesecake. Forget
Yeah, exactly.
that.
Well, awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much for sharing the story. I love kind of seeing people's story from how they got started by accident to
Yeah.
taking it to a point where they can sell it and get to a point where hey, I'm kind of burned out. Want to
Yeah.
sell it and go do something else. There's a lot of people in there. We're always talking to our mastermind members of going, what drives the most stress or when should you sell? Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't just put a time frame on it. It should be when you get to a point where you either need the money or you just don't enjoy it anymore, or
Yeah.
there's other opportunities out there. So
Yeah.
thanks
Absolutely.
so much for sharing.
Yeah. Yep. My pleasure. Yeah. Yeah. Other opportunities. I mean, it's just life's too short, man. It's like you could sell it. I mean, and then most of those are going to have 2 years non-compete in them. I mean, in theory, you should be able to live off a sale for at least a couple of years, right? You
Oh
know,
yeah.
I mean, if you want to
If
get
you're
back
not,
into
you
it,
shouldn't be
yeah,
selling.
yeah. So, I mean, if you really want to get back into, what you just sold, I mean, you can in theory do that after a couple of years.
No,
But I
exactly.
mean, at that level, you're as we talked about before, like your mind is kind of opened up to a lot of new things, right? Invest in yourself, really. Invest in higher level coaching, to go to that next level that you really want to go to, right? Start opening up your mind to all those kind of things. So,
Awesome.
and pay your
Well,
taxes. Pay your taxes on
yeah.
that sale right
Those are
away.
optional. That's what I heard.
Yeah, yeah,
No, I'm just kidding, Mr. Taxman. We pay all our
yeah, yeah.
taxes. But well, thanks so much
Yeah,
for
yeah.
coming on the show.
Yeah.
If you guys
My pleasure,
enjoyed
Jason.
this episode, make sure you guys subscribe, share it out with someone else. And if you guys want to be around amazing agent owners so you can get to a level where you have the opportunity to sell it one day, or just get to a point where you're growing faster and you don't feel alone, I'd love to invite all of you to go check out digitalagencyelite.com. That's our exclusive digital agency mastermind. So go check that out now. And until next time, have a swank day.